Hello, I'm John, coming to you from the heart of London, and I've got a chilling tale to share. Picture this. It was a day like any other, bustling with the usual London charm, the hustle of the city, the clamour of the market, the steady hum of life. I was following my routine, a comforting rhythm that had become my life's soundtrack. But as the day wore on, an undercurrent of unease began to creep in, subtle and almost imperceptible. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the city in shades of twilight. The familiar landmarks seemed to take on an unfamiliar, eerie quality. My heart began to pound in my chest, a staccato drum drowning out the city's noise. The seconds ticked by, each one stretching into eternity as I waited for the inevitable. Just another day, I thought, until the clock struck midnight. And as the final chime reverberated through the silent city, a ghostly figure materialized in the shadows, its presence turning my blood to ice. As midnight approached, an eerie chill crawled up my spine. The night was not merely a cloak of darkness. It had become an arena for the uncanny and the unexplored. The first hint of oddness came from the lights. They began to flicker, imitating a hesitant heartbeat, throwing unnerving shadows that capered on the walls. In these fluctuating lights, a ghostly silhouette intermittently made its appearance and disappearance, adding to the enigma. Soon after, the sounds initiated. Gentle whispers drifted through the silence, a symphony of sighs and murmurs that seemed to originate from nowhere everywhere simultaneously. These sounds were vague yet eerily familiar. Fear, akin to a cold mist, began to descend. It wasn't just a sensation, it was a tangible entity enveloping me, making every hair on my body stand erect. The air became dense, almost as if charged with the anticipation of something horrifying. Then I discerned it. The apparition. It loomed at the corner of my sight, a spectral silhouette that was more of a suggestion than a solid figure. It was like attempting to recall a dream upon waking up, with the details eluding you even as you try to comprehend them. Confusion and disbelief fought within me. Was this reality, or was my mind fabricating cruel illusions? I endeavored to convince myself that it was merely an illusion, a result of my hyperactive imagination. But at my core I knew this was merely the commencement. I dismissed it as a trick of the light, however. The worst was yet to come. That fateful night, the horror really took a grip. As the shroud of darkness descended, the peaceful ambience that once filled my home was violently disrupted. The reassuring quietude turned into an orchestra of noises that defied any logical explanation. The gentle rustle of the breeze outside was replaced by a spine-chilling echo that reverberated through the passages. I could hear the distinct, morbid sound of an unseen entity shifting, its spectral making its presence known in the most blood-curdling manner. Objects started to move on their own, driven by this ghostly force that seemed to have claimed my home. Picture frames skewed, doors groaned open, and the lights flickered wildly, casting phantasmal shadows that pirouetted on the walls. The air grew bitter cold, a deathly chill that felt like it was gnawing at my very spirit. My once familiar homestead had been twisted into a horrifying scene of dread. Each creak, each whisper was magnified, echoing spectral invader that had taken over my haven. It was as though the very atmosphere I inhaled was laden with this chilling spectre, a relentless reminder of the petrifying reality I was ensnared in. With the ticking of clock, the haunting escalated. The ghostly figure wasn't satisfied with merely making itself known. It seemed to revel in the dread it sowed, growing more audacious and horrifying by the minute. The haunting had morphed into a palpable nightmare, a bone-chilling waltz with the unseen that left me a statue of I was trapped in my own horror film, and there was no end in sight. As the days morphed into weeks, the haunting grew relentlessly, each night more terrifying than the last. Resolving to confront the terror, I plunged myself into extensive research. I spent countless hours immersed in ancient books and combing through digital archives, seeking any piece of information about the history of my home. During my relentless search, I unearthed a collection of old newspaper clippings, their pages yellowed with age, concealed in the depths of the local library. Headlines whispered of a tragic event that unfolded within the confines of my home. Among the stories, a recurring image stood out, a ghostly figure whom I would later learn was John. These tales were filled with hushed whispers of a doomed love, a violent end, and John's lingering spirit. Engrossing myself in the house's past, I felt a strange kinship with its former inhabitants, their lives resonating in the silence of my solitary dwelling. Unraveling these obscured tales felt like awakening old ghosts, their secrets bleeding into my present. As I read the last line of the article, a cold dread washed over me. But that, my friends, is a tale for another time.